Hello, hello, hello. I am so sorry, guys. I was running a bit late and I am really, really sorry. It's been a really busy day for me. Hi, God. Now, wow, today, when you don't plan to be this busy, all of a sudden, everything just seems to be last minute, last minute, last. I'm like, what the heck is going on today of all days? Hmm? So, my people, how na dey o? Greetings, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining me from. I hope you've had a great week. I hope you've had a great week. It's been easy peasy and everything has been going coolele for everyone. Yeah, my people, how na dey? Mona, welcome. Oh. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is well. There seems to be something people have been complaining. Oh, there's a lot of I don't know whether it's flu going around. Me, I don't understand, but I say stay far from me. I know they're interested. All this, unnecessary guys. Oh my God, I'm happy to be here today. To be honest, I dey like when action dey happen. Una know me, I like action. I no dey like enough talking. Let's get to it already. All this you're dilly darling. We don talk, 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 shout, shout, shout. I'm waiting for action. That has not changed. Until action happens, it's not going to change for personally. But of course, I don't know how many of you knew that there was a hearing today in Chicago with for the articles case with CSU. I don't know if any of you know or you followed up with it. You followed through. I don't know, but in any case, there's a case that's been going on. I'm going to pull it up now so we can go over it. Thankfully, someone was kind enough to put it together. It was amazing to see, you know. So let me just 1 second here. Let me pull something up really quickly and we'll go over the summary of that court case in Chicago. It sweets me, I no go lie. Omo, giving up is not an option. You see this matter, you go ride am till the wheels fall off. That's what's going to happen. Till the wheels fall off. Then we go ride am. We're not going to let these people get away with this madness that they are trying to perpetrate in Nigeria. No only one country we no get past one. We no get past one. So I don't know. Personally, I feel like anybody, everybody need to dey on top of this table. We cannot fold our hands and watch all these things happen. Okay? And the plan be say when these people felt like, oh, once they announce that, oh, all these noisemakers, they were all going to hiding. Na only mouth they get. Na only mouth. See, e good to talk. Mouth, e dey move things. Na people think say mouth no dey move things. Na when you dey talk, that talking e dey turn to something. Whether you think you're doing something or not, you are. Because na from talk na im the real action dey take place. We cannot continue like this now. We can't. It doesn't make any sense for us to continue like this. It makes no sense at all, you know. So, my people, I'm happy with what I have seen so far. I'm happy with what's going on, you know. I'm certainly happy and I'm here for it. I also saw the interview of the Labour Party. Is it the Labour Party chairman or president or whatever? I can't find that video. If anybody knows where, hey, J.O., welcome. G.A., welcome. Neka, my darling. Greetings, everyone. Let me pull up the summary of that case so that we can read through it together. It was quite interesting. I'm not going to lie to you people. I was like, hey, because I was following it bumper. There was somebody, there are people in Chicago who went and they were able to bring it live to us. So I say kudos to those people because they did an excellent job of it. So let me go and pull it up. And of course, this lady did a perfect job of the highlights of everything. So let me bring it here and we can go over it one after the other while I look for this video. So, for those of you who were not aware, the Articles case versus the Chicago State University and Tinubu case in Chicago, right? So, today, Articles lawyers appeared in person while Agbado's lawyers joined via phone, Zoom. Okay. He needs Oluwole and Olanipex in brackets. Na so Pius write am to whisper in his ears. So they had to join through Zoom. Atiku's lawyers cited the Trump versus Obama case, where Obama produced his original certificate to debunk the allegation of fake birth certificate. And Agbado should have simply done same for his school records to satisfy Nigerians. Atiku's lawyers averred that the Tinubu that went to CSU is a black American female and the current occupier of the office of President of Nigeria. And the current occupier of the office of President of Nigeria is male who claims not to have dual citizenship and that the bat that finished from CSU, Chicago State University, and the Nigerian bat cannot be the same. American bat. And then she puts in bracket American Batman and Nigerian Batman. Not be the same level. Oh. Abi how Bruce Wayne go do mega. CSU lawyers said there's been a barrage of attacks on them by Nigerians. Nigerians, una do this one, oh. Una worry Chicago State. So they start to dey lock all their accounts. Nigerians, oh, I never see. Nigerians worry Chicago. I just say when they sleep, they see Nigerians for their dream. They drag, dead. Nigerians drag Chicago State University. Na im di lawyers come say there been a barrage of attacks on them by Nigerians. Atiku's lawyers responded that CSU lawyers should stop crying about it, being that they, Atiku's lawyers, were being attacked too. Oh, CSU lawyers said they can't tell if, una lis ten oh, they can't tell if the social security number and date of birth on record for Agbado is real or fake. Can you imagine? A whole university dem dey talk say dem no fit determine whether the social security number when Agbado present whether na real or fake. Check am now. Check am. Does that make any sense to anyone that is lis ten ing right now? Hey! Na wow! And the date of birth on record of, so both the social security and date of birth dem no fit verify. They can't tell if the records are for Agbado, if it is real or fake. Now, CSU lawyers also cannot tell if the certificate Agbado presented to INEC is real or fake. Una dey hear? Atiku's lawyers averred that CSU updated their fonts and seal of the school at a point in time. When was it changed? Atiku's lawyer asked. Why do you have two different presidents sign the same document with signature issues? Oh boy, I wish I could just be a fly on that wall, man. Atiku's lawyer further probed. You just took that out of my mouth. Now, this is what the Honorable Judge Jeffrey Gilbert said. He jumped in and said, because when Atiku's lawyer asked, why do you have two different presidential, different presidents sign the same document with signature issues? That's what Atiku's lawyer asked, right? Then the judge, Honorable Judge Jeffrey Gilbert, now said, you just took that out of my mouth. He jumped into it and said that. Atiku's lawyers showed the court the record that Tinubu used to enter CSU, gotten from Enahoro Eba's subpoena. Judge Gilbert, after glancing at it, asked with shock, is this the same person? The kind shock wey fit electrocute person. Oh my god, the girl dey had her own ginger to everything. Okay. CSU said they don't have a record of Agbado's diploma, but they are certain he graduated from their school. And then in brackets, she put me too. I'm certain my father was the president of the United States at a point in time. I'm just not sure when. They added that the school does not have dates on their certificates, only name and the major of the students. The judge, Honorable Judge Jeffrey Gilbert, asked why the CSU copy and the copy presented by Tinubu to INEC have different signatures. But CSU lawyer said, I have no idea. Judge asked if the result given to Tinubu was real. And he answered, I don't know. Una dey hear something. Una dey hear wetin I dey read. Hey God. They asked CSU lawyer to confirm if the letters circulating on social media were real. He first said he didn't know, then later said it seems authentic. When in brackets she put when your lawyer no sure, na im be things. The judge asked one final question. Why didn't you ask Tinubu if his documents was real or fake? Atiku's lawyer responded that he simply lied under oath and that is why they are in court. Judge added that both parties are free to email him more evidence to prove their case tonight. Gang, gang. The case has been adjourned till a later date for ruling, as the judge cited that he needs time to go through all the documents considering the importance of the case and impact it will have. Judgment date will be communicated tonight. My submission: the judge is flabbergasted. He can't believe his eyes. He's probably wondering why someone can be that shady or lying under oath. He can't wrap his head around it. The things he has seen, he needs time to process. Justice will be served. This is not the Nigerian judiciary. God bless the American judiciary. Hey, come see Twitter. Twitter is on fire. Quinty, welcome. Oh. Twitter is on fire as we speak. If you see, hey, there's another because what's his name? One of these one of these violencers, he was in court and he was dropping information back to back. You pay now because they not allow cameras, they not allow recording or broadcasting. It's prohibited, so he couldn't do that. But he was just, giving the information as he was getting it. My people, that is it. Oh, you see say na na serious matter this thing be. It's getting worse. It is getting, what did I say, worse. And then the Freedom of Information Act, when we then do, okay, that one they will soon release. I think they don't give date when they will release those documents. Now don't forget the date when they release now. Omo, they go soon give dates. Abi they don already give date when they wan release those documents. 2,500 na be the document wey they wan release. I'm here for it because it's all about action for me. All the shout noise wey person make for this election, e must yield fruits. So I am waiting for that fruit. While I'm waiting for Nigerians on ground to show their resentment towards this government, this sham government, I'm also waiting for these people. I don't know when Nigerians are going to react, but who knows? Anything can trigger it because the people are very, very angry. Very angry. Okay? So there's another video I want to play for you guys. Welcome, Prince Akwachi. When sweet itotori my belle. Let me just say that. he come and totori my belle. Okay, please, somebody should remind me the what's it called? Is it the chairman of LP now gave an interview? I can't remember what channel he did that interview. Is it on Channels or Arise News? Somebody who knows, please remind me. While I okay, now I get it. Okay, I've pulled it up. Let me play it. I've seen the video. I'm gonna play that while I pull up this other video that is sweeting me. They sweet my belly. Hey, hey, oh, pikin when say mama no go sleep, guess what? Na him no go sleep. We dey here, we sit down, gidigba, we await.
President Bola Tinubu's electoral triumph in the February 25 polls has been upheld by the Presidential Election Petition Court. The court dismissed 3 petitions challenging his victory, one by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, another by Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi, and the third by the Allied People's Movement. These petitions were deemed to lack merit. However, both the Labour Party and the PDP have expressed their intention to appeal the judgment.
Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party, 2 men with a chance to pull an upset, had approached the Presidential Election Petition Court seeking to cancel the results of the election and have a rerun, citing a number of grounds. But in Judgment Day, there were the notable absentees in the courtroom, which had in attendance party chieftains including Vice President Kashim Shettima, who were present to witness proceedings. Substantial non-compliance with the Electoral Act, alleged corrupt practices, and overvoting, certificate forgery allegations against Tinubu is forfeiture of $460,000 over alleged drug case and dual citizenship, the aspect of his not securing 25% of votes in the FCT, among other grounds that both men sought to nullify Tinubu's electoral victory. In its judgment, the court stated that Atiku and Obi failed to discharge the burden of proof by failing to state the specific polling units where electoral irregularities and overvoting, including multiple thumb printing, occurred. The court stated that the electoral body, INEC, isn't under any legal compulsion to collate results by electronic means as such, falls within its discretionary powers. It also stated that Atiku and Obi failed to prove their allegations of certificate forgery, while stating that the case of alleged forfeiture in a drug case was a civil case, one which Tinubu was never prosecuted, convicted, or sentenced. In dismissing the case on 25% votes in the FCT, the court maintained that the FCT is like one of the 36 states of the Federation without any special status. On those grounds, the court dismissed the petitions for lacking in merits. The court had earlier dismissed the petition of Allied People's Movement, which was hinged on the multiple nomination against Kashim Shettima. With this leg of litigation now over, the petitioners are yet to decide whether they would head to the Supreme Court or not. But the Labour Party has, in a preliminary statement, condemned the outcome of the judgment, saying that its lawyers are reviewing the situation on the next steps to take. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the judgment of the tribunal, in quotes, with an intense sense of solemn responsibility and preparedness to serve all Nigerians, irrespective of all diverse political persuasions, faith, and tribal identities. President Tinubu, in a statement, urged, in quote, valiant challengers to inspire their supporters in the trust that the spirit of patriotism will now and forever be elevated above partisan considerations, manifesting into support for a government to improve the livelihood of all Nigerians, end of quote.
Well, the Director General of the Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Organization, Akin Osuntokun, joins us now to speak on the judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal affirming Tinubu's win and which parts of the judgment the party disagrees with. Good to have you on Arise News. Thanks for joining us on Newsday.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, it seems obvious that the party would disagree with most of what went on, which is why they will be taking, you all will be taking the case to the Supreme Court. But I wanted to discuss some of the challenges that were quite glaring during the course of the proceedings. The length of time it takes to get evidence. Obviously, the tribunal is a time-bound situation, and it seemed that the Labour Party had quite a few challenges with how to file in their paperwork in time and to get witnesses that would pass the barrier of screening. Can you speak more about that to us for some of our viewers who aren't as well versed into how that all played out, in order for it to be a situation where they said that the case lacks merit?
Well, first let me correct I can see, is she still speaking? Right. The person who was introducing this segment said that the PDP and the Labour Party were yet to decide whether we are going to the Supreme Court or not. That is not correct. As a matter of fact, the intention to appeal the judgment was made immediately after the session, not even a day after. So that is the case. Now, I don't want to take issues with the judges as such, because many of the things they were saying, were counterfactual. In other words, they say things that is not correct, that is inconsistent with the truth. My view of it all is that we're in a systemic crisis, and we are coming to terms with the implication of Nigeria as a failed state, on which all organs of government, are being equally affected by the virus or pathogen of corruption and the lack of discipline and so on. I mean, look, people were raising the issue that our supporters were intimidating the judiciary. First, of course, is that many of those people doing the intimidation had no connection with us. We did not give anybody directive to go and indulge in intimidation of the judiciary. But the more pertinent question is whether the judges themselves of the Court of Appeal, whether they did not deserve to be intimidated, whether there was no reason to question, not to take their integrity or the integrity of their judgment for granted. And of course, I have no more, the evidence of what I'm saying, or the supporting logic, was provided by none other than the former President Court of Appeal, whose husband, Senator Adamu Bukachua, told everybody, to the hearing of all Nigerians and the international community, that he was in the habit of influencing the decisions and judgments of his wife, in relation to his colleagues at the Senate chambers. Well, if you could do that, if you can say, look, if your spouse, there is no greater authentic evidence you can get than a spouse who is saying this is what we do, right? So who are we to not to take that into cognizance? And if that is the truth, will you take it for granted that the judges so affected in this Court of Appeal take it for granted that, look, they will do what is correct, they will act, without prejudice? Well, unfortunately, their former president, the former president of the Court of Appeal, she just resigned on me. She just left a few months ago, right? Had given us an indication as to the conduct or the behavior of the court under her. And but for that matter, even the president himself did accept that the judiciary is corrupt. From what he said in a statement that, look, do you expect your judges to live in squalor and not be corrupt? So allegations of corruption levied against the judiciary, directly or indirectly, they have very square legs to stand upon. You may question the tactics of President Buhari. When he sent, security forces to barge into the houses of Supreme Court judges some years ago, they uncovered, tons of money, different currencies. So there is no basis for this an unmerited righteous indignation to say that you are angry, as if there is no justification for people taking that position against you. But as I said, more importantly is that the implication of Nigeria as a failed state, as a country that tops the charts of full Transparency International Index of Corruption, the implication of that is that you don't expect anybody, if a country tops regularly the table of the most corrupt country in the world, why should you not accept or have any difficulty in accepting that, of course, the judiciary is equally affected? The judiciary is typically Nigerian, and when we're talking about the fact that Nigeria is sick, if Nigeria is sick and corrupt, of course, that means that the organs of government are the same. And of course, the countenance of the judges when they were delivering the judgment was unfortunate. It was like something that you call bole kaja, as if they are not mediators, as if they are combatants. They adopted the partisan position of the other, the other legal team present in the legal team. On the basis of that, start firing, personalizing the statement that witnesses give. One judge was saying that the witness had the temerity and audacity to say so and so. I mean, it was disgraceful, Several times I was there, when I could no longer stomach many of what they were saying. I wanted to stand up and go, but we had to endure it all through the case. So you see, where we go from here, I don't know. The executive, the legislature, and now the judiciary are obviously in crisis.
Well,
where we go from here, what we do about it is what I don't know.
No, thank you very much for that. I would like you to react, to a statement from the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, who seems a bit baffled, that Mr. Peter Obi is accusing or is implying that the judiciary is corrupt. According to him, the judiciary was right when Mr. Peter Obi reclaimed his mandate as the governor of Anambra State. But it seems that now that he's lost at the tribunal, the judiciary is wrong. What's your take on that?
Well, how many years was it ago that Peter Obi left as governor? Almost 10 years ago or thereabout. The judiciary at that time, of course, obviously, in qualitative terms, in quality, is better than the one that we have today. It's not as if what you are talking about didn't occur yesterday, the day before yesterday, it occurred years ago. Right, and as I said, the prelude to what brought about these doubts about the Nigerian judiciary, that are weeks old. There was a prelude to what happened. It wasn't as a fact. As at the time judgment was given in favor of Peter Obi as governor, as I said, how many years ago was that? Well, I could not recall any season that recorded this kind of prelude to the judgment that we had this year, in which the president of the Court of Appeal, who had just resigned or left up, retired, right, was being, her husband was telling us, whose husband was telling us that, look, my wife used to do this and that. Can you compare that to the prelude to when judgment was given in favor of Peter Obi. These are the kind of things that, frankly speaking, baffles me. Well, I don't know. Look, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. I'm surprised that the panel said there was no evidence tendered. The mutilation of result, outright, the state guilty, most guilty in that respect is Rivers State, right? And there are many evidence in support of that. Some of it had been actually been shown, by people appearing in television appearances. I can readily recall that of Atedo Peter's side, where he was displaying the result sheets on the, So again, I find it peculiar that the court is saying that no evidence was tendered in terms of of the allegation of rigging at the polling centers. So you see, I said, look, that is the logic of Wike for you. I'm not, as I challenge anybody to come back to go back and do the research and tell us whether in the run-up to the judgment given by the judges in favor of Obi was similar to what we have today. And I've told you the most consequential, if it were in any country, in the United States, any flight, the judiciary, what will have happened to the judiciary is best left to the imagination. That a senator husband of a president of a court of appeal was saying that this is what he does for his wife. Have they sued him?
Mr. Osuntokun,
did they take him to court?
Allow us to interrupt you for the sake of time, Mr. Osuntokun. We don't have that much time. You have gone over the fact, and we do remember the story. It's quite unfortunate. But this was what I was trying to ask you at the beginning of our interview, the processes in court. The challenges that you have, you were just speaking of the fact that, there was evidence presented, it was thrown out. But how can the judiciary make that pipeline more efficient for plaintiffs, other individuals, to get access to information and documents from INEC, et cetera, in a reasonable amount of time that wouldn't be seen as sabotage? And also, there's a large discussion going on about the burden of proof. It seems that some are under the opinion that it should be reviewed, seeing that currently the burden of proof is a bit of an uphill battle. The winning party has to prove that every vote, should it not be more along the lines that the winning party should prove every vote that they have, rather than the losing party saying these are the amount of votes we didn't have, seeing as how that's very hard to prove. So I'm talking about the burden of proof and which side it should actually fall on, in your opinion.
Well, there is the issue of the burden of proof you are talking about. Look, the judges practically assumed the position of INEC. They found INEC infallible, that there was nothing INEC did that was wrong, including this presentation of evidences, right? This is the electoral agency in possession of 4 relevant documents. It's supposed to be independent. In other words, not partial. It's supposed to act with independence and straightforwardness in matters like this. And then you ask the INEC, that electoral agency, okay, give us these results, because more than any of us, your own custody can be relied on, will do that. So look, what you are asking, right? I don't see too much relevance to what is going on. What is going on is the behavior of high public officials in Nigeria, including in all the 3 organs of government. People talk with impunity. I wish that the video recording of the judges when they were giving their judgments could be replayed back to Nigeria, so that we know what you are confronting here. Judges assuming partisan distemper, being very angry. Someone saying that you had the audacity and temerity to say that this is the truth or this is not what? So I'm saying it is not the amendment, but let us also make the fact, which I recognize. We have an unusual situation, of course, maybe with the presidential candidate, that there are so many grounds for disqualification or nullification of the election. So out of the several, maybe 10 or several grounds of seeking disqualification or nullification of government, the judges are under duress to ensure that none of those grounds, is deemed, as valid. Because if just one of those grounds stands, it automatically, disqualifies the president. So they were acting against the duress of having to justify the fact that all those grounds of petition that we brought, all of them were wrong. Well, that is counterintuitive. But that is the under, because if just one of those grounds succeeds, that is the end of the presidential declaration of Tinubu as president. So they were also acting against on that duress. But as I said, what we need more is behavioral change. It's not something Nigeria has gotten to a stage in which you cannot isolate any institution or organs of government for remedial action. It has to be total, right? It's a behavior that has caught on across board. The DSS, they will tell you a lie that people want to riot, that people want to protest. They issued a comprehensive statement in which they were making all these allegations. People say we're preemptive, but that is lie. It's another word for lying, right? Don't forget also that the former judge of the Supreme Court, Mrs. Odili, chose a few days before the election to give an address that directly speaks to that judgment, and was assuming the posture of somebody who is already been declared the winner. Chauvinistic, accusation of, harassing people that they have been, more or less the same stanza that the court subsequently adopted. The same attitude of speaking from a position of extreme partisanship, telling us to take it or shove it, very dismissive, argument. Who are you to query me? Who are you to ask me to explain myself? How dare you do this and dare you do that? As if we are servants, as if they are not public servants who are meant to serve Nigeria equally. You don't talk down on people the way that the judgment they gave. You don't talk down on people. And as I said, on what basis? On what basis should we presume their righteous indignation? As I told you, they are their own president of the Court of Appeal, where those judges are, their own presiding officer was implicated in corruption just some weeks ago. So what is it? What are we talking about? Right? That you want to assume on the basis of unmerited righteous indignation. But as I said, whether ridiculous or not, they have to find reasons for all those grounds that on which you petition, inadmissible or whatever language you want to give. So they are under, but you ask yourself, it is counterintuitive. It's not logical for me to believe that of the 10 or so grants that you are seeking a judgment, all of them fail to make any sense or merit. But here is the problem. If just one of it succeeds, that is the end of Tinubu's declaration as president. So these were the issues they faced, and then they were trying to use this transferred aggression, on people, on the people. It's not me. I was not the one who asked them to do a job for me. I didn't ask them to do anything for me. But of course, as I said, you can extrapolate from their behavior why they are so partisan.
We're almost out of time, so please allow me
I can't hear you.
I said we're almost out of time, so I just want to ask you this question. There's also been some controversy over the APC watermark found on the certified true copy of the tribunal's judgment. I would like you to react to that, especially the explanation given by the APC team.
Well, I personally am satisfied with the explanation that what the APC tendered, the documents that they tendered and that was admitted as exhibits, by the judges, formed part of the documents that they gathered. So I don't think that anybody will be that stupid, right? Without daring, to use the letterhead or whatever of somebody in judgment. I think I'm satisfied with the explanation that they made. I mean, I don't, that's my own honest truth. I don't think they will get to that stage or maybe of total imbecility, total imbecile.
All right, Mr.
Or arrogantly, dismissive, and then up to the point of, allowing the letterhead of the president's lawyers to appear in their own judgment. I'm satisfied with the explanation that was given, that which was parts of the documents that the APC have tendered.
Well, all right then.
I'm open to whatever.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have with you.
I beg they write the judgment. Let's state the obvious. There's no need to be saying. Of course, they're going to say that it's part of their document. I beg. Moving on.
Very well. Just go everywhere. You go here, you go there, you hold that place, you hold this place, and romance yourself and romance. Now, this is our turn. It's soup. You go begin to see them. They beat everybody for that Abuja junctions now. And you'll be wondering, who are these ones? All those ones who are controlling Maraba Market, all those popular junctions in Abuja, they go chase everybody away in the coming days and weeks. Just thought you should know. In case if you run into them. So I kind of have David on, and I don't know if we'll be able to have all the time. I thought we'll have about, half an hour. And I know you have another engagement in another maybe 15 minutes. So I don't know how we can run through this in that short time. How are you, David? I can't kind of hear you. Can you hear me? Right, I can hear you, but it seems that the volume or the voice is so distant, or so distant.
I think it's the type of mic.
I don't know if you have anything you have to turn up or something. Sorry about that. Anyway, sometimes, all this can be really, So, yeah, let's see. So I'm going to let David kind of fix the audio. The audio is so low. And I have some outlined, perspective of his. Outline the questions that will help us, take into account, his own perspective on this. So, yeah, David, let's hope it's better.
I hope so.
It is so low. Still.
How about now? Because I'm
practicing. It's kind of, I think what happened is that the headset somehow, except if okay, then you might need to bring it closer. Sorry.
Does this work now?
That's perfect.
Okay, perfect.
More like it. Thanks, Baba. So how are you, David?
I'm good.
Great. And just to quickly run through this, okay? What is currently trending, which is what I started with, is all mostly about your work, which has led us to this state today. So initially, we were looking forward to what Atiku is going to kind of unravel from the Chicago State University. based on what the ongoing issue, right? Then this part of your own FOIA or FIOA request, something, right? Which is going to kind of like drop a bombshell, something even bigger. So people are wondering that with the ruling from the Presidential Election Petition Court or Tribunal, which seems not to be interested in looking at any evidence at all, using technicalities and all that. So do you think this is going to make any difference at all? Or what is this all about? If you can just shed more light on that or join.
So, first of all, I should state that the purpose of all this isn't to get a judicial outcome. I think that should be said.
Your voice still seems distant. I don't know if the microphone can just come down and come straight, like, I don't know, something like that.
How about now? Is that better?
I know it's ridiculous that you have to put your mouth so close. I don't know why. But somehow there's a technique that you can just
condenser mic. I don't know why it does this. But anyway, as I was saying,
so
I should specify first of all that the point of this isn't to get a judicial outcome in Nigerian courts, because I think that ship has already sailed.
Right.
I don't think the Nigerian court is going to deliver justice. I think based on what we saw at the appeal courts, we know exactly where Nigerian judges stand and what Nigerian judges are capable of. So that ship has sailed. The point of this is twofold. First of all, this was a process that started even before the presidential election tribunal took off, because this actually started in March when I first sent off this freedom of information request. So myself, in conjunction with Aaron Greenspan of Plainsight, I know of Plainsight Law. It's a US organization that basically the purpose of Plainsight is to put public interest information into the public domain using FOIAs and strategic litigation. So in conjunction with Aaron, we had sent out these freedom of information requests to 6 U.S. government agencies. That's the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, the Department of State, or State Department, that's the U.S. attorneys, and the IRS, that's the Internal Revenue Service. So basically, the idea was whatever information that these institutions hold about this person, whatever files that they maintain on him, since this person is now, this is now public information. This person is no longer a private citizen. This person at the time was the president-elect, so there's no longer any excuse for holding on to that information. Because last year, when I was researching him and all these other stories, the reason why I wasn't able to get hold of some of this other information was he said he was just a private citizen. Even if he's running in an election, he's still a private citizen. He doesn't have a public office yet, so there's no justification to hand it over. But now, okay, he has supposedly won that election. So it's in March. So hand over this information, because now he's a public official. And initially, when they got back to us, I think in either late June or early July, the initial indication was, no, we're not going to give this information. And these quote-unquote privacy concerns were still being invoked at the time, which obviously we disagreed with, because why are you invoking privacy considerations for a head of state, for the president of a sovereign country? So in collaboration with Aaron, I took this matter to court. So obviously Aaron is based in the US, so he was better able to actually do the filing, while I pretty much funded the entire thing from start to finish, which was expensive. But the point of it, I didn't really think much was going to come out of it. But I thought, look, I feel like part of the reason why Nigerian public officials get away with these things is because not many people actually try hard enough to call them out on it, or to dig deeply enough. That, okay, this thing is going to cost me money. It's cost me close to $1,000 up to date. And the only reason it hasn't cost me more is because we were able to get a lawyer who actually worked on it pro bono. Because if we had to pay a lawyer, that would have been potentially even outside of my budget. We'd have been talking $20,000, $30,000, which is money I really don't have to spare. So fortunately, we were able to find a lawyer, and we basically sued these 6 organizations: the CIA, the FBI, the IRS, the DEA, the State Department, and the U.S. attorneys. And when they got back to us in July, what they said was this case potentially would not be, have any sort of resolution until potentially 2026. So that's the date that was bandied around at the time, 2026. But we still kept going anyway, even though we didn't really expect much to come of it yet. And then last Friday, I just come out of the shower. I've been in the shower for a long time, and I looked at my phone, and it was a message from Aaron, and I was like, I have very good news. I was like, what do you mean by that? And then he sent me this document, which everyone now has now seen, this document which is now on the screen. And I scanned through it in like 30 seconds, and I was shocked that, wait, they're basically handing over all this information. Like, where did this come from? And he was like, well, I don't know either, but there's a possibility a lot of it might be redacted. But on the surface, it seems as if they basically just decided to capitulate and hand everything over. We don't know why. We honestly don't know. I would love to take the credit for it, but the truth is we don't know why. We weren't expecting this. This came out of nowhere. So
it means like it's going to be like a Pandora, like everybody's expecting. But at the same time, right? Haven't kind of experienced what Nigerians experience in the hands of the PEP, what we call them, right? So a lot of people feel like, what would this change? Like in the scheme of things, so to say, okay? Is it just to establish some certain, I don't know, like what would this change in your own view? I understand that the intention at the time was just for research purpose. Now you're about to get something huge. Even yourself will have to be busy for a while once this information begins to roll out, right? But before now, everyone thought this kind of information would help in getting rid of this illegitimate guy, right, in Nigeria, among other things. But with what they experience, would this, do you think, like, there's still Supreme Court there, sure you get. So do you, like I asked you the last time, like, do you think this would change anything, or what would it change?
So I don't think the purpose of this is to change anything within the Nigerian judicial system, because I fully expect that the Supreme Court, which is presided over by Kaide Ariwola, will happily give a verdict stating that 2 + 2 is 95. Right? I completely expect that to happen. However, what this will achieve, if the information that we know for a fact is being held is actually released in full and is not distorted or redacted in such a way as to make it, unusable, if this information is put out into the public domain, what it will do is that, first of all, it will once and for all establish factually that these things which we have known, which we have proven, and which we have published for a certain amount of time now, that these things are in fact true. And that there is no, like, every sort of burden of proof has been satisfied, right? Because up until this point, the excuse has been, oh, well, there was just a forfeiture. There wasn't really a conventional conviction, blah, blah, blah. So and so and so, one excuse after the other. But when you have the FBI releasing 2,500 pages on one individual, bear in mind that Pablo Escobar, his FBI file had about 2,600 pages in it. Pablo Escobar himself had 2,600 pages. Malcolm X had about 2,400 pages. So what on earth do they have on this guy that makes them have 2,500 pages of him? And bear in mind, that's just the FBI, right? The other agencies also have their own information. IRS, CIA, DEA, the State Department, So, and they are complying with the FOIA as well. So what this will do is it will once and for all establish that this person is exactly what we said he is, first of all. And more importantly, because
because of our time, because I still have like about 2 ones I wanted to cover. And hang on. Does that still stand that you need to leave like in about 6 minutes?
I think I can do like another 15,
extra 10 minutes just into it, and then we can into it. Is that all right? Yeah. I'm sorry that a lot of people want to listen to you, right? they will feel like I'm going to be
that's fine.
succeeding you. But they won't understand the fact that I'm struggling to make sure that nothing is left out. So if you give us that grace, right? Now I'm going to just push this
Sure.
to you, okay? This issue of election and tribunal has further exposed, right, the vulnerability, partly the corrupt side of the Nigerian judiciary. And it has also exposed the validity or sort of the power of Nigeria constitution for real in practice, apart from all the fancy words they put in it, right? Now, if you have to put Nigeria constitution for real, so this judgment that happened and the way it all went is, further kind of proof that this 1999 constitution is going to continue to be the albatross, and is going to continue to be the one that will be cementing every corrupt process, no matter any effort to changing them. So, what do you think, as somebody who is more vast in all of this? There are conversations now around a constitutional conference, a national sovereign conference, a conversation around Nigeria, starting with the people of Abuja that are also demanding judicial explanation on why the constitution says they are this, and then the tribunal turned it around and said, no, you are not. Question around the constitution. Do you what would be your own view around that? Do you think this is actually going to lead to that now?
So it's difficult to say, because one thing that this tribunal showed me was one of the most basic principles in law, in jurisprudence, is precedent. Right? Judges love precedent. So ideally, when legal precedent has been established, judges tend to follow precedents, and it's very rare for judges to completely break with precedents and basically overturn something that a judgment that had been delivered before. But in the course of this tribunal at the appeal court, we didn't see that once, twice, three. We saw it like 50 times, like completely unprecedented stuff. So my fear is that anybody who is trying to use these things as precedents, right? For example, the Abuja indigents, who are now demanding for a governor and for senators, since they are supposedly classified as any other state in Nigeria now. I fear that what they will find is that they will take this matter to a court, and the court will say that yes, the appeal court said that 2 plus 2 is 9, and the appeal court created a precedent that 2 plus 2 is 9, but this court is still going to rule that 2 plus 2 is 4 for no reason, and there's nothing you can do about it. If I know Nigeria very well, I think that's what they will do, which is why I've been very vocal about the idea that Nigerians themselves need to stand up and do something. Because at this point, the people who are in charge of Nigeria are not pretending to be law-abiding. They're not pretending to care about abiding by any constitution or any law or any legality. They are not pretending. The people who are ruling Nigeria are actively raising a middle finger to you and telling you what are you going to do about it. So I think at this point, the people themselves need to prove a point. However that point is going to be proven, it's not for me to prescribe. People themselves have to make that decision. But the point is that the judicial system, as we know it now, is completely unfit for purpose. Nigeria, as we know it now, doesn't have a judiciary. That's the problem. So whatever the appeal court has done, I fear that it's going to be irrelevant in the larger scheme of things, because I feel like the judiciary doesn't even respect itself enough to even acknowledge that, okay, certain precedent has been set. I think Nigerian judges are completely shameless people who will say this thing tomorrow, say something completely contradictory the day after, and then they will look in your eye and tell you, I didn't say it. Right? You show them video evidence that they said it, and they'll say it's a lie, you doctored the video. That's who they strike me as, completely shame-free entities. So at this point, I don't consider Nigeria to be a country that has a judiciary, that has judges or justices. I don't consider Nigeria to be a country that has a justice system. So I think the people themselves at this point need to be forcefully making a point that you cannot treat us like cattle. You cannot treat us as if you cannot insult our intelligence, because that was my main takeaway from the PEPT, that the very basic intelligence of allegedly 200 million Nigerians does not even matter to these people. These people will insult you to your face, they will tell you that you are stupid and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think, as from a Nigerian point of view, Nigerians should be basically the ones making that decision now. That is that characterization of us accurate? Are we actually stupid, or can we do better? It's up to Nigerians.
You invested a lot, right? Apart from money, you invested what I believe your own freedom in bringing to the attention of a lot of Nigerians. And you are highly respected for that. And at the same time, you are highly loathed for that as well. But those who feel like you will do all of this for nothing, it's just, you won't be the first. In fact, the Legiwa, you have all of these people. And a lot of them are actually wishing what happened to those people to happen to you, so as for you to stop wasting your time. So, as an advocate, somebody who knew Nigerian system so much, and for time, and all those investments I just mentioned now, okay? As an advocate of what I would say, maybe due process, all right, which led to election participation and all of that. And after all of this, some people are saying that Nigerians shouldn't even have participated in the election in the first place. Others are saying they wouldn't have found out if they didn't, because they would still have done what they would do anyway. Then others are saying that the moment they are making those false announcements, after all that happened, that was the moment the real people who actually indeed wanted these guys out should have hit the streets. They didn't, all right? Then they waited, still following the due process. They waited on the judiciary to possibly set the record there straight. And the same judiciary, partly right now, has sort of given them a middle finger as well. So don't you think it is already too late to start fighting the cheating after participating so fully to this point? Others as well, just before, as an add-on, there are others that are saying the people should, in fact, get ready for another election in 2027. If the court is gone, if the electoral process is gone, don't you think it is actually so late now to want to now fight what should have been fought at the infancy, like when it all started? Your view, David?
Well, so first of all, I think participation in the election itself, I think it needed to happen, because I think the people who run Nigeria, they're very good at setting narratives internationally. If young people had not participated in that election and they had just gone on a rampage, a protest, or whatever, the people who are in charge would have found a way to frame it to the world as if there is this small group of people in Nigeria who are just anarchists. Because that's how that's how they almost successfully framed NSARS. They framed it like it was a small group of anarchists who were trying to start some kind of color revolution and take over the country for no reason. Meanwhile, that's not what it was. It was a very broad-based, general youth protest movement. So when dealing with these people, it's very important to know how to sort of play the game as well. So there are certain processes that, even if the end result of the process, we know what it's going to be. Even if obviously you win the election, they are not going to give it to you. You still have to go through that process, because if you don't, then they will turn it onto your head. Then they will make it look like, you see, there is an electoral process, there's a democratic process. Why couldn't you just follow the democratic process? They will gaslight you, basically. And in front of the world, they will twist the whole narrative and make it look like you are the aggressor. So it's very important to have to actually go through that process. That, okay, you should do a political movement, Abi. We've done a political movement. We should compete in the election, Abi. We competed. We should win the election, Abi. We won. If we didn't feel satisfied, we should go to court, Abi, which is the due process thing. We've gone to court. And now that we have exhausted all those things that the system supposedly has put in place for us to achieve what we want, we have now demonstrated to the world without any shred of doubt that the system doesn't intend to reform itself, and it's not actually possible to change the system from within. At that point, when people now hit the streets and basically scatter everything, you cannot tell them anything again. You can't tell them there's something they should have done. Because bear in mind, all of this started with NSARS, right? And at the end of NSARS, that was the Jedi mind trick that they used to gaslight everybody. They said, you should never have gone onto the streets. You should never have protested, blocked the road. Why did you do that? That does not achieve anything. Go and queue up behind the candidates. You people have numbers. Go and form yourself with a political movement and go and elect leaders who will listen to you. That was obviously they knew very well they had no intention of actually letting such a thing happen. They were just talking rubbish as they always do to try and make you feel like, you know, somehow whatever happened was your fault. And the Lekki massacre was your fault. There's a way you could have avoided it. That was what the point of all that stupid talk was. But obviously, without actually going through this process, we wouldn't have been able to prove that that's what they were trying to do, that they were just talking stupid. Now there's evidence. Now there's proof. Now you can't tell these young people anything because they've seen with their own two eyes. They've gone. Nigeria has never had this level of voter registration before and voter participation before. And the way the system retaliated, you know, first of all, did its best to disenfranchise as many people as possible, make sure people didn't get their PVCs or PVCs were showing up inside forests, inside gutters, buried, all sorts of rubbish. And then on the day, they were shifting people's polling units like kilometers away where they know people won't have any chance to vote. You know, all sorts of things. In spite of all of that, you still lost by a landslide. And then the so-called live electronic transmission, you turned it off for the presidential election. You know, so at every step of the way, the people did what they were supposed to do. And the system, as far as I'm concerned, the system exposed itself. Because one thing about Nigeria that I've noticed how small is that Nigeria will do horrible things to you, but will leave just enough of a space to give itself plausible deniability, so that you'll be accusing it and it will deny. Whoever is in power will deny. They'll say it's a lie. It's not true. But for the first time, this election made it so that the people in power actually exposed themselves fully, where it's not in doubt who won that election and who was nowhere close to winning it. And then we saw things we've not seen before. We saw people, you know, using TPEX or result sheets. You know, all of this was captured in real time. You know, there's dozens and thousands of pages of evidence which was documented in real time. So as far as I'm concerned, the real court wasn't the one that so-called Justice Samani was presiding over. The real court was that of public opinion, because people were watching what was happening in real time. The reason I say that is important is because the next time that there is any kind of spark or stimulus for young Nigerians to hate history, we don't know what it will be. We don't know when it will be.
Exactly.
Just like we didn't see NSAS coming. We don't know when it will be. What we do know is that it will come. When it comes, at that point, there's nothing that you are going to tell those young people. If you threaten them with weapons, well, you shot them before. They don't care. They're expecting to die already. You cannot tell them, oh, why didn't you go and vote? Because they went to vote. And you disenfranchised them and then you stole their results. There's nothing you want to tell them again. So that's why I said it was very important to go through this process. So now that we've gone through this process, the system, as far as I'm concerned, the people who are in charge, they might be celebrating because they think they won a victory, but it's the kind of victory that I call a Pyrrhic victory, because it's a victory that in itself ensures that the seeds for your eventual loss are planted. Whether they realize that or not is a different issue.
Now, a final one, okay, just before you go, okay, David, having experienced all of this now, a lot of Nigerians across all ethnic, religious, tribal, what have you, yeah, decided they were baited. That's the word I use on this platform. They were baited. They were made to believe that it was going to be different this time around. Now, it's going to be a bit difficult to get to then kind of maybe a year or two from now, begin to preach to them again that, oh, it is also possible now. Let's do it again. When the same system, the same rotten system that ensured that, the first disenfranchisement, like you put it right, and what happened? Which, unfortunately, when all these things happen, right, unfortunately, it further divide Nigerians. It was like an avenue to further divide Nigerians among those who said, we have told you, we saw this coming. How could you not? And then to those who are like, we don't care. You either take it or you leave it. So, David, using your own position among the young people, even among the older generation, would you not kind of subscribe to an idea where every one of us uses our platform to encourage a change in that system, starting with that fraudulent constitution before any election again, rather than get so boxed to the corner until another time presents itself that everybody will just be like, no, you can't do anything. You just have to go through it again. I mean, what do you think?
I agree. I completely agree. However, as I said, before getting to this point, we had to exhaust all the opportunities for the system to gaslight us first. So now, at this point, if anyone is pushing for a constitutional conference or for even more extreme solutions than a constitutional conference, I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. At this point, you cannot tell such people anything. You can't tell them that they're wrong, right? But it was important that we had to go through all of that first. Before now, at this point, I completely agree. Every potential solution beyond what has been tried is on the
Which
table
is,
now.
this system has to change before anybody is forced to go and participate in another
Yeah.
charade, which is their trade. They are already planning towards next election anyway. You know that.
Exactly.
So why should anybody be part of that?
And
Mhm.
why on earth would an election which is being administered by Bolat
Predetermined.
go against the interests of Bolat? That's ridiculous. We went through the same thing in 2019, where after people deceived themselves, oh, we'll vote him out if he doesn't perform well. Well, Buhari told you point blank, I'm not going to lose that election. Now, between God and man, I don't think anybody actually believes that Buhari actually won that election in 2019. But you know how we went. So 2027 isn't going to be any different, which is why I'm not interested in hearing anything about 2027. As I said, it was important to go through what we went through in 2023, so that now at this point, any solution that is proposed beyond what has already been tried is on the table, right? Up to and including the ones from the people that we don't even like, right? The people who talk about Biafra and all these things. Those solutions are on the table now.
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going, because there are those who are now pretty much like, what happened to your PVC now? And people like who invested a lot in educating the people and encourage them to actually participate. It's not just working to get people to participate. People actually participated. After all of that, those who rejected and said they will have predetermined the whole thing, like they are now pretty much like, that's why we never participated. That's why I asked that, won't it make much sense now for everybody to now kind of agree now that even if you want to have Biafra, Yoruba Nation and the rest of that, this particular system has to go first. And we cannot drop all the pretense and the division, right? And address the main thing where we can say, okay, you know what? David.
At this point, I mean, as I said, every solution is on the table because the Nigerian system has given such people the right to propose such solutions, right? So at this point, you can no longer accuse people of being Confucianists, of being anarchists, of being, criminals and separatists. You can't accuse people of anything anymore because people have gone through the prescribed system now. The only part of the system that hasn't been tried yet is the Supreme Court, and we already know what's going to happen in the Supreme Court. So, at least for the sake of optics, we'll go through that Supreme Court process as well. And when the system does the only thing it knows how to do and makes a mockery of the Supreme Court as well, at that point, whoever it is that is proposing any solution above and beyond all the ones that we have tried within the current system, you cannot tell them anything. I will never get up and talk down on anybody who proposes any of those solutions again, because at that point it should have been clear that the system has reached its limits. This is as far as you can go within the system. This is as far as the system will allow. So if you want to have a better life than this, you need to break out of the system. It's as simple as that. So except the system decides to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that this is unsustainable and it has to give concessions, which it's not going to because it's not in Tinubu's nature. Tinubu is like a rat. All he knows how to do is eat. He doesn't understand the concept of taking note of other people and concessions. He doesn't want. All he knows is power. It's eat.
Whatever
So when
not do, more money we do it.
Exactly. So when they inevitably do what they're going to do with the Kaide Ariola Supreme Court, at that point, anybody at all,
all options is now on the table.
Be it the constitutional conference people, be it the NINAS people, be it the IPOB people, be it the Oduduwa Republic people, be it the Middle Belt, whatever it is, every solution is going to be on the table.
Absolutely.
And no one will be able to blame anybody but the system itself for having created this. Because, by the way, Nigeria is not the first country where such things will happen. No. After the system makes a mess of itself the way it has done. Like this, Sudan did very similar things. We know how the story ended for them, how it still ended for them, right? The country formerly known as Yugoslavia did similar things. We know how it ended for them and how it still ended for them. So unfortunately, it's up to the Nigerian system itself to it's not me, it's not you who's going to make any of this happen. It's the Nigerian system itself, as far as I'm concerned, that is making all of this happen. So the biggest influencer, the biggest advertiser, the biggest motivator of all these solutions that are going to come out of this is the Nigerian system itself. It's not the people who are talking about it, it's the Nigerian system itself. So that's where we're at.
Make those changes. Right. David, I wish we have longer time. Okay. Thank you so much. This actually is impromptu. I kind of ambushed you midway, so I'm going to let you go, and I will have another time with you as this whole thing unravels. Okay. You have a wonderful night, Baba. Thank you.
All right.
Nice one, Baba.
So, guys, I really like what David said there. It was very important. That's what I also thought about it. It was very important for Nigerians to actually see what was going on, go through the election, because now everybody sees how rotten and decadent the system has become. Everybody now knows, locally and internationally, because that's true. Anytime people came out, they were always gaslighting them. They would say, hey, they are young, what do they know? Lazy youth, this and that. They will lie. Right now, remaining Supreme Court now, they've gone to tribunal. Tribunal, we now know is there's no tribunal. In fact, we don't have judiciary in Nigeria. We don't have, it's dead. Left to me, all those lawyers should carry bundle their wigs and gowns and go and burn, because they look stupid and silly with those wigs and gowns. Filthy looking things in no match. Return to your ancestral clothing. God forbid. Must you do judiciary the Western way? We had laws before these people came. Very soon, people will start doing what they are supposed to do. Let's listen to this one when I wan play now. Wetin dem dey call am? Make we lis ten to one man wey come make a complete fool of himself. Make una lis ten.
Jimmy, go ahead. Thanks a lot, George. I've been a regular viewer of your show for many years. I just wanted to say,
thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, with regards to Nigeria, we need to be quite careful about it. Because, yeah, indeed, there were some discrepancies in the last election, but it's not enough to say who won or who did not win. I would just like to say opposition to the current president has led to a lot of spike of violence against his ethnic group, the Yoruba people. And this is where we need to be careful as to how people frame the problems they have with the president. Because at the moment, if care is not taken, the way a lot of independent journalists, so to say, are framing these things up, it might lead to another brutal ethnic clash. And as you know, my country experienced a civil war in 1967 between the then breakaway Biafra region and the rest of the country. I'm afraid we might be heading in that direction again. So I would like you to please take a step back and actually review the dynamics to the last election. Because we can't say for sure that Peter Obi won that election. A lot of yeah, we do vote on the basis of religion and ethnicity, but most Nigerians are Muslims, and we voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Whatever problems people have with him is fair, but he's the person most of us voted for. And I think the more people are going after him on a personal level, as against going for INEC, which is the body responsible for elections, civilians from my ethnic group are being targeted. And I just called because I've seen a lot of conversations surrounding him, and I want you to be aware of the risk he poses on the ground. Thank you.
Well, look, there's no question of me taking a step back. I'm merely hosting a show in which all kinds of people are invited. Every 5 minutes, I invite everyone to call the show to give their point of view. And you just have very succinctly indeed. You have taught me something. I had absolutely no idea that Tinubu was from the Yoruba people. That's the only good thing about him. And my contempt for him has zero to do with the fact that he's a Muslim and zero to do with the fact that he comes from the Yoruba people. These two things are the only two good things about him. I'm against him because he's a crook. I'm against him because he's a thief. I'm against him because he's a bagman for the bigger thieves. In Chicago, Illinois, I'm against him because he forged his election papers. I'm against him because INEC forged his victory in the election. Am I supposed to turn a blind eye to all these things? Because he's a Muslim, because he's a Yoruba, because this may lead to ill feeling to his people? When I express my contempt for Rishi Sunak, I'm not hating on Indian Hindus. I'm hating on Rishi Sunak for everything except the fact that he's an Indian Hindu. I parked that. I have no interest in that. I'm against Sunak for a whole range of other reasons. I'm against Tinubu for a whole range of other issues. Now, I invite all points of view to enter this debate over Nigeria. If we had a Moats Africa, we could do it exclusively every week on that show tailor-made for the African audience. But we don't have that, so we can't talk about Nigeria every single week, every single show. But we had David on in advance of the court decision. We've now had him on after the court decision, which I followed closely, and which was every bit as farcical as David Hundian described it. What are we supposed to do? Not do so? Accept that the greatest African country is run by a crook? A forger? No, I will never accept that. I have too much respect for all the peoples of Nigeria.
Oh, the man grinds the guy into sand. He carry in mumu tribal bigotry. You see as he take lie, bold face lie say Nigeria na majority Muslims, lie say the people when they not vote for Agbado, say that they fight with Yoruba people. Meanwhile, the reverse is the case. With all due respect to my decent Yoruba brothers and sisters, when they do the work, when they speak up, we have people like David Udeyin, Mayegun's diary, Give Us Our Mandate, Jimmy on violence space. Many of them like that. With the exception of those ones, the mumu Yoruba people, Emilo cons, na dem main during the election. Na dem kpai people. Na dem make sure say they disenfranchise people. Now the nation say that they look people, they judge them by how well they look. They go tag you automatically Igbo. So if you dress well, you look good, you be Igbo automatically. You can't come one call to the gaslight for the whole world to see. George Galloway, thank you. They think say the whole world not get eye, they not get ear. He came to make a complete fool of his entire generation. Useless people. I hope that guy gets what's coming to him. His generation will suffer for the lie that he just came to tell the whole world. Prince Akwachi, welcome. Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my sister. You
Good
know,
evening, though.
I really, I'm glad to, to have enjoyed your presentation. You know,
Thank you.
I'm really glad to, it's one of those things that happened pretty much, and it looks like most Nigerians are misinformed uh, based on the fact that the way they look at things, you know. You'll be like, what is this person talking about? You know,
Yeah.
today somebody said something on a particular platform of which he was trying to compare Trump to P2B, and I said you cannot do that.
Are you
I'm like,
serious?
I'm
Where
like,
was that?
that was on Niger Watch. And
Trump to Peter Obi. That's
I
an
said, I said,
insult.
I said, I told, I said, do you know who Trump is? Don't,
Hmm.
I said, don't even go there. You know, that crook, you gonna bring him and you compare him to P2B? Oh my goodness. If you are telling me that Trump is Agbado, I will listen to that. But don't tell me that Trump is P2B, and then he went on and on and on, talking about how American election looked like it was rigged. And I was trying to explain to them. I said, these things that they talk about, American have its own system,
Different from us.
different from Nigeria. They should stop comparing America to Nigeria. You know, every state have their own, like an INEC chairman.
Yes.
And even Trump himself was caught trying to, have a Secretary of State of Georgia
To
to
get numbers
convert,
for him.
to subvert the people's votes in order to have him win there. Are you gonna tell me that? Even somebody to the extent that another person talked about, how it is that he's a Christian, he's a good man, and I said, when you guys start bringing religion into things, that is what makes me mad. I'm a Christian, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, take Christianity out of this. Most of these people are corrupt,
Hmm.
but then they use Christianity to cover up.
Everything. Look
You
at
know,
Redeemed Church now.
Ah,
Redeemed Church, Redeemed Church now is every cockroach,
of
every
course,
wolf,
of
every
course.
goat. Now that
The other
church
day,
will go.
Osimanjo was congratulating Tinubu, and I was like, "Whoa,
Ah, I'm not surprised.
whoa!"
I'm not surprised.
You know,
Osibanjo is a very liver. He doesn't have liver now. The
you
man is a
know,
tribal
somebody that
bigot.
knows the truth. He knew what happened. He saw
So
what happened, and he did law.
he's saving himself, me and my family alone.
You know, so at the end of the day, when you look at it, is Nigerians, they really need a lot of education. They really
Yeah,
need a lot of
exactly.
education.
A lot, a
No,
whole lot.
oh my God.
But it's very funny because it's usually people who live. I find it difficult. People who live outside of the country
Yeah,
seem to know what is best for the country than you that live in it. It's
you
okay to
know,
have an opinion
I'm
and say,
telling you.
in my opinion, I thought that this person would be better. But you cannot just assume because of maybe you like him or he's a preferred candidate or whatever in your own however way you figured it out, you cannot talk more about the person. We all know what happened during the last election.
Right?
There was nobody that did not know.
That
So
did not
I
know.
don't like us bringing American politics into Nigerian
The same
politics.
thing I
We
told
don't
them.
have a system in Nigeria.
The same thing I told them. I said, I told them it's different. Okay, it's just like this court case going on. Believe you me, I totally understand when the judge today said he needs in some time to really look into this. But he made statements which obviously is very clear. He said, so you mean that somebody said he went to school and nobody knew how he got it? Literally. And the answer they said, yeah. So which means that calls for a clear, question like, how did you get this then? you know, now he has come clear to say, oh yeah, that he knows that female was added to his whatever it is. You knew that for how many years, and you did not go for correction. See, all these things is just all his lies. But then he doesn't know that the more he's lying, the more he's digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper into all this. I don't know what I don't know what to call it, but for sure, like David Hunde is saying, it's not about winning or not. It's about exposing the rot. And
Exactly.
believe you me, I am 100% in support of them going to Supreme Court. Let's see the rot. Let's see them, all of them. We will shame them.
Yes.
We will shame
So
them.
that we will know for a fact that
Oh yeah.
indeed we do not have a system.
Oh
We don't
yes.
not and anything anybody decides to do
Uh-huh.
tomorrow, they are well within their rights. People are not scared of if not pie, okay, now you could be pie.
Uh-uh.
So there's it's not going to be new. That is what these people they've made us stronger. Oh
Of,
God.
of
These
course.
people don't know what they are.
Of
They don't
course.
know anything that they cook.
Of course.
They
They're making
don't
us
know what they
strong
just
and bold. Yep. Yep. They're making us
they
strong and bold.
exactly. You just embolden more people to say,
Uh-uh.
you are hardening people up. Because when it's going to get to that point where people will just bust. The thing go full, the cup go full,
I
everywhere go
I
just
have never been so interested in Nigerian politics until this. Believe you
it's
me.
Peter Obi that brought a lot of us
Hey,
out. I mean, what concern
you know,
Nigerian politics.
because even when they talk about how it is that Tinubu they came and they lied to Obama about Jonathan. Okay, what do they? I tried to tell someone. I said, if I were in Obama's shoe, I would also believe them
Of course,
because
it's your
then
country.
don't what Jonathan could have done was to find a nice PR that will come to the White House and explain things the way it is. The way it is. Even some of his ministers connive with these people, like Desiani. You know that.
Of course.
Desiani connived with Tinubu and Co. Because they threatened her and they told her, you know what? If you don't give us what we want, then when we enter there, we will make sure that we arrest you. Those two men that she had the dealings with, who are they? They are from APC people. Those men that were helping her to buy properties and buy things. They were
Yep.
APC guys. They knew all that, and they told us all those propaganda that she stole this, she stole that, because she gave some of the money to even APC party. But they will not say that. They will not say that. So at the end of the day, I always tell people, I say, sometimes just take a minute, study things, and then you will see. You will see for yourself the real truth. It's never gonna be hidden forever.
No.
It will never. Yeah.
You
So
can't
that's
hide the
just that.
truth forever. Everything always has its time. You
Of
see, when
course.
this whole election, after I did the tribunal and every, I didn't even finish listening to it because I already knew where they were going.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I was very, of course, I was upset, not at the tribunal because I expected that from the tribunal, but at the people. I was like, I'm upset. I'm still waiting for the people. That has not changed, right?
Of course.
But
Of
I
course.
started thinking about it. I was not saying, you know, and then it started dawning on me like, man, look at the exposure that
Mm-hmm.
we've now come to know about the rotten system. The foundation of Nigeria has been so faulty.
Of
It's
course.
been putrid, smelly, stinking, pungent smell. We don't have any foundation, right?
Nope. Nope.
So it started dawning on me. I'm like, oh my God. I grew up on a foundation that was shaky. We didn't even have foundation. How my parents even survived, how they were able to take care of the children they had and give them education, it still beats me till today.
It,
In that messed up system and very lopsided system where only a group of people are just chopping every other person's resources.
yeah.
I said, you know what, this tribunal and then the judiciary, I was like, they've exposed themselves in that country. Who don't know how the system bad before? Now everybody don't know. Not just Nigerians, the
This,
whole world.
my greatest happiness today.
Mhm.
My greatest happiness is remember that lawmaker that said that after meeting Tinubu and said Tinubu is that he looks like he's smart. That he got booted out.
Yeah, yeah, that guy, Oga,
Yep,
Oga, I think that's his name. They
from his
booted his
quarter, whatever. He got booted
whatever
out.
it is. You know, he came out, he was not crying on social media. So we know what obedience did. He went to check his timeline to see whether when this election, after the election and this whole, when they ripped us of our election and, you know,
Yeah,
were preparing for court and all, let's
yeah.
see what role he played. They saw that he did not say pim
Pim.
about this whole Peter Obi thing.
Yeah.
Guess what? Obi dey start to dey share information. More na no involve una sef.
Ah,
Na the same guy
hey,
wey go talk say Tinubu smart. Forget, make Tinubu come help am fight. That
Abi.
was how obedience wash their hands off of him.
Of course, of course. People were even somewhere. People were saying the governor can fight for the other two, but Tim, no, no, he should go. He should go. Let him go. Let him sponsor himself. You know,
Exactly.
let him sponsor himself. You know, this time around we don't need to recall him. He recalled
No,
himself.
exactly. You should sponsor. No, I'm thoroughly enjoying what I saw. Then I started thinking of one like this system has been totally exposed. I
Of
started
course,
getting strength
of
within
course.
me. I was like, oh my God. So I'm in full support of
Yeah.
Peter Obi going to the Supreme Court because yes, so that we will know for a fact, without a shadow of doubt, that indeed we don't have a system in place. And then to top it off, the case between Atiku and Agbado and the Chicago State University in Chicago. Oh, that made oh my God, I was like, action. This is the type of action I like.
Of course.
How they want to do am. Even the judge dey shock.
The,
Say
the,
how they take get two signature by hey, the thing
the,
dey sweet me. The
the,
man
the,
go soon live in judgment. They
the
no be
truth
like
the truth is I might not like Atiku, but
no,
I
I
like what
don't.
he's doing.
I'm not interested in
I
him.
love what he's doing.
But I like what he's doing.
I'm telling you, I love what he's doing.
Yep.
He's trying, at least let him do that. I
Yes.
know he's pushed more, especially when they slapped him on his face with
Yeah.
Wike. He will show them. He will show them. This time around, they can't even bribe him. He will
At
show
all.
them.
At all. He's ready for them.
Oh yeah.
He's ready. I mean, the lawyers, the Agbado lawyers, they didn't go to, they were doing Zoom because they need kpekus in their ear telling them what to do. Yes. Oh God. I said, I don't jam rock. When I go see which kind children disobedient, for God's sake.
Of
What did he
course.
do? Say that they drag Agbado like nama meat. Obedience showed up at the courthouse.
Of
Somebody was
course.
reporting and said that there were some. He said the people that came to support, that came to the court on behalf of Agbado, all of them cab drivers.
You know,
Some of them were not even having the audacity to be asking them what they are doing in the courthouse. Now they say, you better shift. It isn't a Nigeria be this.
Abi.
You better respect yourself, grown man. Otherwise, we go rubbish you quick. You know how does.
Of course.
No, I'm
Of
very happy
course.
about that.
Oh,
For that,
yes.
I give Atiku his flowers for
Oh,
doing
no.
that, for
Yes.
fighting and saying no. This man, we must do something about
We
him.
must do something because if they leave him, this man will capture Nigeria. We'll be
Exactly.
gone.
You'll be exactly.
We'll be gone.
Exactly. Kenny, you are right. He's useful for once in his lifetime. At least, if not only that one, we remember him for Nigeria. We go say, okay, he try. He try. So that Obi go come enter. Make we know
Of
where we dey
course.
start.
Oh,
I
yes.
one day hopeful. This whole thing, when I think about him and then this Chicago thing, I started having all of a sudden I just gained strength within. I said no, there's no way. Even though I have not, of course, I can't give up on Nigeria. Once you are Nigerian, you're Nigerian, you can't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand for this suffering is too much in Nigeria. I feel like anytime I don't say anything, I feel like I'm contributing to the suffering of the people. I don't know if anybody else feels like that. That's how it feels to me. So if I don't say anything, if I don't come out and speak my mind about what's going on ground, I feel like I'm contributing to the suffering of the people.
You know, and one thing
I feel
some
guilty.
people don't know is this. Okay, America have their own problems. Okay, but then I don't think Joe Biden wants to kind of like ruin his chances next year because most of us have already started posting if America is not careful with Nigeria, we might not vote. Okay,
Yes,
so they hear
yes.
all those things. They hear all those things. They see all those things,
Me
and
no really talk say na orange I go vote.
and we also,
Uh,
all these,
Me all of us dey cry together.
and the thing is, even their lawmakers and everything, they hearing us. They know. So possibly, there is a pressure on Biden that what, this guy is the wrong guy. That is why you are seeing these people coming out now. It's gonna be IRS. It's gonna be DEA. It's gonna be what is it called? FBI. About seven parastatals that are coming out to bring out their reports on one man. Me, I don't dey here. I don't get any report where I know. Eh? I don't get any report. Why is it that man is having that? And he has only lived here for only about from by the time I calculate everything, it's about 13 years that he stayed in America. And he has the reports already. Now wow. Will they wait? We'll see.
Ah, we dey here, we full ground, we dey wait for them. Oh.
Ah.
They say na 2,500. Hey God,
So tell,
2,500.
tell me, out of those, in those 2,500, say the 2,500 go they be, oh, he was a good man. He was paying his taxes. You see what it's gonna be? We will see. We will see. We are watching. Mm-hmm. We are watching.
So what happened in the Chicago court, right? So when they got there, when some obedience showed up in the court, right? So they now mentioned when all these old taxi drivers, when they support Agbado they come the courthouse, they come the same thing that they do for them, right? Then Atiku's lawyer now
Yeah.
said that the man they should be scared of is Peter Obi. Hmm. That if it was Peter Obi that sued for those documents,
I'm
I,
telling you.
I tell you, I for fly from here, I for book flight go Chicago. No, I'm serious. I for fly go Chicago. May I go sit down for that courthouse? I'm
All right.
telling you. He said the followers. He said if he was the one that sued for this document, his followers would be all over the place. I don't know now. Do you know CSU complained that Nigerians have been harassing them?
Uh-huh.
Now say dem no go harass una. Why be say una dey take their future take dey play football?
You
No,
know?
dem go keep quiet for now.
Mm.
CSU went shut down in Facebook, shut down Twitter,
Twitter.
shut down their website because of Nigerians. Oh my God.
Wow.
When obedience plunder, as in, you know what they call plunder? They plunder their account. They were asking them, how much is it to study medicine? I want to study medicine. How much is it to study? I'm telling you, I want to get a PhD. How much is it? Because we heard that Agbado got his. I'm telling you.
Hi, Nigerians.
Oh. The same way when Nigerians they do like that, the day when they go decide to take ground to fight this, na the same way they no go fit hold am. That's what they don't understand. They no go fit hold am. No. This whole court case for Chicago is sweet my belle today. I no lie.
But things are getting a little bit out of hand in Nigeria. In Ibadan yesterday, somebody, a boss, was carrying rice, and they, people encroached the vehicle and took kind of like took most of the rice. Took most of the rice. They thought it was palliative or whatever. They just took whatever they can. So
Yep.
it's really, really hitting them now.
It's not
By
even
now,
government
it's
is even
hitting
good
them.
saying
It's
na only
dawning
rice
on
they
them.
take, right? That's even good that it's only rice they took, right? In
Yep.
Abuja, they are telling people if you have any family in Abuja, please tell them they should stay at home and not be moving around. When it is 4 o'clock, when they enter house,
Mm-hmm.
robbers, armed robbers, they operate
And
openly.
I
They just
yesterday they even
said,
carry pot of soup.
hey, these ones they are just buying people.
Hey.
They are just spying people. They showed very gory pictures on Twitter. Of course, I can't show it here. I couldn't even look at it
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
too much, right? Yeah. Do you understand?
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
really getting bad in Nigeria. Look, I just looked at. I just see the picture again now. It's
Yeah.
really, really bad in Nigeria right now. Very, very bad. I'm telling you, it's so bad now. That's why I said earlier when I was talking, I was like, the fact anytime I think about you know what, I'm waiting to see what will happen on ground. I feel guilty immediately. Like there's somebody suffering right now because you're not saying anything.
That's true.
I feel like I can't even if I want to say, okay, oh, let me just, I'm so upset. I don't want to say anything until I start seeing action. I feel guilty immediately because I keep saying anytime something just hits my mind, there's somebody suffering, somebody is not going to survive because you chose not to speak.
That's true.
You
That's
know,
true.
so we're in this to win this. There's no way, there's no backing down.
Yep.
This pressure on me, the amount is getting to them. I guarantee you, Agbadorians are not sleeping.
They're not sleeping.
They don't buy markets. They don't thief
And
the one way they're not supposed
their body they tell them now.
to.
No be small. Eh, even spokesman all of a sudden yesterday lied about UAE lifting a ban on visa. How
Visas.
can that be?
My God.
Eh? These people can't lie. Hey, Jesus
All
Christ.
they know how to do is lie,
Lie
lie,
and lie.
lie. That's all they know how to do. Lie, lie. Do you know they now came out, the United Arab people now came out, their own news now said there was no conversation like that. It
Uh-huh.
was so embarrassing. Hey,
Imagine.
who was
Imagine.
this kind thing?
Because
So,
if they didn't come out, it will put them in jeopardy because of the fact that it was not only Nigeria that they placed on that ban. So
exactly.
are we gonna say, oh, they okay because of Tinubu, oh, down they took Nigeria out and then left other countries? Then they will have a lot of diplomatic problems. So they never discussed that. All of a sudden, somebody came out, oh yeah, ran his mouth, and then this morning, when they were asking him, he was dancing around the bush like a jury. I've said it. That
That
guy is.
one, oh my God. That one, it be like, I don't know, be like house boy. That's what it is. On top of say e be like house, e come, house boy na work, na work, house domestic staff na work be that. The
That's
guy,
all
I
now.
no know wetin, make I no be insult abeg. Anybody wey don work for person before, abeg, make una no vex. I no mean am
You
like that.
know.
But the guy, e be like Dundee
Mm-hmm.
United. E be like person wey dey put battery brain for him back. The one when Lai Mohammed do, they can't say multiply Lai Mohammed lies
Pro
times
max.
100.
Uh-huh.
I've never seen. The reason why they put that boy there is strategical. Is so
Uh-uh.
that it go easy for all these Western people not to totori their
The
eye. So
the
that it
lie
be
way the
easy
lie
on
way
them.
the lie way lie Mohammed lie in 8 years. This one don't lie. It don't lie within 3 months.
He even
They
do
don't
pass Lai
double lie.
Mohammed. He do pass Lai Mohammed.
Mm.
Lai Mohammed not do Risha.
Hey, imagine.
Nigeria don't wreck that country. They don't wreck
Yep.
Nigeria. That's just what it is. They don't wreck am. Pata pata. Hey, see wetin be this.
When I even think about India, I think about the pictures that surfaced the other day. Where Agbado dey one corner.
For India,
For
e
India,
be like
wh-
castaway.
I'm telling you, while Ngozi Wala even Biden they take a picture. I say, child, Jesus Christ. Wait till I don't do this man now. You know good now.
Na wetin
If
e
for
deserve be that.
if for look for one person follow the talk now. He just dey there.
E be like person wey dem say come on, will you stay at the back there? Na you coming
Hey,
close here.
Jesus.
Ah,
Hey.
God.
Later they come out. Oh, he spoke to Trump. He spoke to South Korea. All those ones are all lies.
Lies.
All lies.
Lies.
Hey,
They go dey celebrate now. They go dey for their mind. They don't win for their
imagine.
mind. Hey. Hey. In fact, Ekene, if Ajuri tell you say the sun is out and sky is blue, I will still tell. I'm telling you, the guy lie. They did not lift it, oh my brother. They did not lift no ban. Na lie.
Nothing.
Nothing. No
You
ban.
know.
You just go there, go shine in that teeth wey never brush. Now you go shine today. I sure say those ones sef they hesitate to even have conversation
They
with him
go say,
because they know he did not win the election. He's like a disgrace all over the world. Everywhere he go, shame. Because people know, even the person wey dey greet am, dem go dey look am, dem go dey say this one no be you win am na, all of us know. My God. I was the president by force. Èmi ló kàn. See am
Emi
now.
loco.
No knowledge,
So,
no vision. All the investors when you talk about where they dey now.
for where
Where the investors?
all those ones na psych na hiking in just they hike them. You know. Hike.
God. Make we play this. I want quick play this video when person share. Be like say na
Okay.
from Chicago State. Abi, e say
So
exclusive. Listen to Chicago State University lawyer argue that the university does not know if Agbado's certificate is authentic or not. So maybe somebody was able to record like a little bit of it. So make we hear.
it will be Ned.
No, this is parallel facts. I go play Ned next after this one. This parallel facts.
So if a deposition is compelled of my client here, and the issue is, was the June 22nd, 1997 diploma that President Tinubu submitted into evidence in Nigeria or offered to the, whatever that election agency there is, my client is that authentic? My client's going to say, we don't know. And we do not have his actual diploma to compare it to. We don't have whatever diploma was issued to him in 1997. We can certainly verify that the information on that diploma, his date, the date of his graduation, which by the way is on his transcript that is in the public proceedings already. So there's no question that June 22nd, 1997 was his actual date of graduation. But beyond that, and with the sideshow of this copy diploma that is now being raised, where the date was, there was a mistake made, and whoever ordered it and whenever they ordered it, a mistake was made. Other than that, my client doesn't have anything to say about these issues. And all of these student records that have this information that the applicant would like.
We don't finish. I think the person was just maybe able to record a little bit of it. I hope that person doesn't get into it because they say no recording. So I don't know.
The thing is, you can record, but then if somebody calls you in the courtroom, then you are in trouble. It will be
Okay.
contempt. Yeah. But
Okay.
as long as you can record without showing their face, you
Yeah.
understand, you're good. But the thing is,
Oh,
you just dey pray. If your phone rings, your phone they might be confiscated.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And just for the record, and then we need to stop. All this when they talk about Trump, make they stop to dey compare Trump with our Nigerian election. I beg, make they leave the man for America here.
I'm
Make they
telling you, that's what
no,
I
you know
told.
they make that comparison. It's not a
That's what I
good. Go
that's what I
ahead.
told them because they don't know the man. They don't
Mm-mm,
even know Trump.
mm-mm.
Some of them fell in love because Trump said, probably because of the Trump said something about banning abortion. Da 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 da. At the end of the day, what Trump does is even worse than even people who commit abortion.
Oh yeah,
You know?
absolutely. The reason why you remember that during the election, people Nigerians were protesting for
Yeah,
Nigeria. You remember for Trump in Nigeria. You know that
yeah.
people
You
from
know?
within church, from other churches, they gather themselves and they protest. Say Nigerians for Trump. Now so they write.
Imagine.
I still remember those videos. When they come, they pray. They come, they pray. Then they hold vigil and prayer. Some fast for Trump. Yeah, for Nigeria. Say make the man win. Now in they want. I'm telling you. When one other woman, I don't forget the woman. When they call they pray, call they say, I call on the African angels. African
Imagine.
angels, come now, come right. Hey, Moro, I say now, wow.
I forgot her name.
I
She's
can't remember her name.
an evangelical lady.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
pastor like that. Yeah, I forgot her name. Yeah,
Yeah, and there was even a Nigerian, I think she's a physician or so. She
yeah.
was solidly behind Trump. She's a Nigerian woman, solidly. She
Imagine.
was campaigning seriously
Be,
for him. She
be,
was on his side. When they were saying people should take the jab and all of that. And then I think Trump said that chloroquine, said that if they feed him this thing, uh,
because they are
COVID.
misinformed. They don't even know what that man have done.
Mm,
The bad things that man have done.
mm.
You know, and even when he was in office, I was asking somebody, I said, when Trump was in office, did he even think about Africa? He didn't even
That's
think
why he
about
won't
Africa.
deport all Africa. He won't deport Nigerians. Nigerians were top on his list
You know,
to deport all, whether you get citizenship or not. His plan was to send all the Nigerians back to.
we were among the people he put at some point that he put that ban on, the travel ban.
Yeah, people were affected. There was a guy that
Yes,
was complaining. I think he had a visa and he couldn't. He had a green card. Actually,
imagine, imagine.
they don't know. I don't understand. Nigerians, we need to focus on our issues. Stop
They
talking
don't.
about. Stop comparing. We're
Ha,
not the same at all. Miles and miles apart. Even though for my mind, now he gets my this thing. What they do now, may all of us they cry together because now we know the people that they're responsible for our tears. They're not far from
if
us. They're all
if
around.
Trump were there, all Agbado will tell him is that I'll give you some barrels of oil.
That's all.
That's all. And
That's all.
that right there,
Hmm. Oh,
hey, he will even come out and tell you that Agbado won and
of
nothing will
course.
be done.
Exactly. You go support her fully because
You
it's all
know,
about the Benjamins. That man don't care about anybody else.
Hmm.
It's all about the dough. You know, see when the wife pass, you know, say na property, now bury the woman.
Of
You
course.
know why? Because of tax return. Because
You
when
know,
you turn your so that automatically that property when you bury that woman automatically go get something back. They not fit tax that property again ever.
you know, somebody will be say in taxes in the lie. I was paying more taxes than that man. But he go say he get millions and millions and millions. Meanwhile, I am paying more taxes than that man.
I'm telling you.
Eh?
Eh? They don't know. If me hear where they talk am, I go follow the person challenge you
Ha.
for well because may we not may we not try that one, may we not do that one. Even if you not dey where person dey, you no need to dey talk.
You don't need. You don't know what it is.
You
Just
don't know
stop.
what's
You
going
know.
on. You are actually talk speaking against yourself. You don't even know. The man not like you. You not dey interested in you.
Me, I not go talk say I love. I not go talk say I love Biden. You know,
No,
I
of
don't
course
love
not.
100. But
They
at
be
the
the
end of the
same
day,
now.
I will vote Biden 100. 100% than Trump any day.
Exactly. But this time around, sorry, now orange I dey go for. Na him I no forget this one wey
Well,
dey there. So I no understand. That one wey dey go dey try to
well,
impose their lifestyle
Orange
for other
himself.
African countries
For
and then
me, I'm deciding if things in Nigeria doesn't improve, I go kukuma stay house. I know they got anybody.
yeah, either that. For me, either
You know.
that or I go orange.
No,
Simple.
orange. At the end of the day, that man no be am at all. No be am.
But people go vote am now because the
People,
truth be say people are likely to vote am
people will go.
landslide this time around
People will go vote
because
am,
of
but
go ahead.
he go dey wahala because of Georgia, and you know state law is not federal law. You understand? So
That's true.
no matter how that Georgia own hook am well.
Right.
Na big dent. Even that one go even make them probably they go even tell and say he no go he no go run he name no go dey the ballot for Georgia. You
Hmm.
understand? Yeah. So
Right.
no matter how he will not win. He will not win.
Okay.
I'm telling you
But on the
that's the
but
only
you
that's
go
the only
ahead,
reason why
sorry.
you see the Democrats leaving Biden. You know, that's the
Uh-huh.
only reason. I mean, they kind of looking at Trump, and that's why you see these people trying to talk about impeachment on Biden. Kevin McCarthy, which is to me is absurd. It's unwarranted. He doesn't need all that. All those impeachment is just to say, oh, that they put something on him too. That. But he will beat Trump. He will beat Trump.
But who you think say for the D side, Democrat side, who you think say they go bring come out make come contest?
For now, Biden now. Now Biden.
Another for this other turn,
Huh?
for the next one, for the next election. Now the
Election
CSU.
2024. Now Biden. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Now Biden they won't break out. That's why because of Trump with the now make them all of them because the person way won't go now my governor Gavin Newsom.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
when Trump was in the race, they told him no, leave Biden. Let them all support Biden.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the whole thing. Uh-huh. And I go like see the fight again.
Mm-hmm.
Trump will not win. But let's see
Right.
what goes on. You know.
Okay, may we return to our village problem, abeg.
That's
Na
so.
that one na important pass.
That's
When we
so.
listen to Ned Media, then we go
No,
talk and we'll wrap am up.
no wahala.
This is the exact argument of Tinubu's attorney, Christopher Carmichael. He told the district court in Chicago that Atiku was trying to sandbag Tinubu, that the fact that Tinubu's admission records in Chicago State University bear female, that it is not his fault. Let that sink in. They are gradually turning around full circle from initially denying that all these documents were fake, that it was a conspiracy by the opposition against Tinubu, to now accepting that it was a mistake. And what does it mean when someone accepts that there's a mistake in a document? It means he knows that that document is not the same as the original. Otherwise, how did he detect the mistake in the first place? He must have compared it to the original to have seen the mistake. If there is no original, you can't see any mistake. By the way, this is not a mistake in any way. It is impersonation. The two people have nothing to do with each other. They are two different people. To all the people that supported him and continues to support him, saying that these documents were fake, that it was him that was admitted to Chicago State University, blah, blah, blah. What will you do now? Since he has accepted that this document is real, that the person that was admitted to Chicago State University was a female, but it's just that he's not taking full responsibility, still blaming it on the school. that they erroneously entered female instead of male against his gender. Let's even assume that it is real. Why didn't he see this document since 1979? All the years he left the school, he never saw these admission records.
Exactly.
He never said, hey, why did you guys make this kind of mistake on my document? It will affect me in the future.
Exactly.
Please correct it now. What is going on here is typical of someone telling a lie to cover up something and he's about to be discovered. He will need to tell more lies to continue the cover up. And at a point, there will be no more lies to tell. Everything will be thrown open. You will see the truth. The truth can't be hidden for long.
There's been a lot of discussion about artificial intelligence. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, this whole chat GPT thing, and how.
And we still believe that the U.S. District Court in Chicago will do the right thing today. Today is the hearing. They brought all these forward like we mentioned in the other video. We still have hope that the Honorable Justice will take this as a payback to Nigerians, as a support to Nigeria's democracy. We still believe that the U.S. judiciary is independent and that the judge will do the right thing. Not that the release of these documents will matter much to the Nigerian courts. They've already chosen a path. But let the disgrace be piling up. Let the baggages of the character they are supporting be piling up for the world to see. The same way we are trusting the US judiciary is the same way we trusted Nigerian judiciary. But they ended up proving that they are partisan. Imagine defending INEC. This is a tweet that INEC wrote before the election. They said that they will upload polling unit level results from EC8A, that it is a mandatory provision of the Electoral Act, section 50, 60, and 64. This was said by INEC themselves, but imagine what the judges did during the judgment. They now turned around and started defending INEC, even to the extent of saying something they never said. Imagine, they fabricated a reason on behalf of INEC, saying that IREV was just for public viewing, that is not part of any collation of results. This is very shameful. What is going on in district court in Chicago is also very shameful. How can one man hire 5 lawyers just to block his school records from being released to the public? All the money, time, and energy they are expending to block the release of these documents only shows that the documents, when released, will be injurious to the person. And it's already established in law. If someone is actively blocking evidence, it means that evidence will destroy his case. That's why the judge must do the right thing. He must order Chicago State University to provide all the records, everything that Atiku's legal team are demanding for, that they should answer all the questions under oath. Even if the Supreme Court ends up saying that these documents won't be admitted from Atiku in evidence, that the time has passed, blah, 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 let the evidence keep piling up. Let the whole world see the character of the man they are supporting. We are all Nigerians. We all bear the shame. When there are thousands or even millions of people who can do the job, but it is the man with all the baggages, what morals are we teaching our children and upcoming generation? That a man with links to narcotics is leading 200 million people. These people don't have conscience. Just because of cronyism, they are supporting one of their own, so that when he finishes his tenure, he will support them again. Power will move back to them. They are doing this because they feel they control the power structure in Nigeria. Let everyone understand it. This is not about Nigeria. They are only fighting for their interest. If it was in the interest of Nigeria, they would have supported someone who has a better character, who is clean, unlike this person they are supporting.
You won't get investment returns like this in stocks and bonds. Find out about the...
Now to another developing story. It's a follow-up of yesterday's video where the FBI announced that they will release 2,500 documents they have on Bola Tinubu. Now the new story is that it's not only the FBI that will honor the Freedom of Information request made by David Hundeyin in collaboration with Aaron Greenspan of Plainsight. They made this request last year and they added on the request in August this year. So the State Department is involved. The DEA will release documents, the IRS, many agencies in the United States. The FBI is expected to release about 500 pages per month. starting around October. And the plaintiff will have the right to get back to court in November to explain to the court how many documents they've got from each of these agencies. It will be a bombshell release, like many are already thinking, why the sudden change of mind? A request they submitted since last year, why are they now saying they will release them immediately? Whatever caused the sudden change of mind, whether they are pulling strings that we can't see, the most important takeaway here is that they are teaching Nigerian agencies how to upload their own laws. They are teaching the Nigerian judiciary how to upload and interpret their own laws. Yes, David Hundeyin and his associate made this freedom of information request through a court. A court granted it. In Nigeria, a lawyer got evidence from Chicago State University, but all the courts refused to hear it. In fact, right now, it has not been assigned. They have been throwing the case from here to here, from here to here. No one wants to hear it. Why? They are running away from their duties because of one man. Is everyone not equal in the eyes of the law? Remember, this same thing happened before the inauguration. All the cases that people brought to court, they were either trashed or set aside. All sorts of judicial somersault went on before the inauguration. On the other hand, even if it's their assets that they want to protect their assets at all costs, that will still not prevent them from releasing the documents. If Biden can refer to the Chinese president as a dictator, who is Tinubu, what do people even think that United States want from Nigeria? They have more oil and gas than Nigeria. The only thing United States might want from Nigeria is division. People don't say this, but it's the reality. Nigeria is a potential future rival to the United States and even China. Look at Nigeria's geographical location. Imagine replicating another China in Nigeria. That would mean that goods manufactured in Nigeria will be cheaper than anywhere else in the world. Look at Nigeria's proximity to Western countries. Shipping finished goods from Nigeria to these countries will be far cheaper than shipping them from China. So imagine having this in Nigeria. Many conglomerates will come here to establish factories to manufacture like they already do in China today, which will ultimately lead to job losses in Western countries. How do you think they will stand by and allow you to achieve this? That's why genuine patriots should work together to make sure their country works for everyone. No foreign country will come and do it for you. Every foreign country's major preoccupation is for their interests and their citizens. They don't care about you. You have to be seen helping yourself before others can help you. If China didn't force themselves to start manufacturing and doing all sorts of things by themselves, they even blocked imports at some point. Nobody will recognize them. So you have to start by helping yourself, doing all the right things, upholding your own laws. Then others can recognize your effort and maybe come to help. If not, no one will come and do it for you. No one will come and develop Nigeria except Nigerians do it themselves. No one will come and conduct a free and fair election in Nigeria except Nigerians do it themselves. All right, we'll keep you updated on the hearing in the Chicago District Court. Let's see how the court will decide in the expedited hearing.
I can't wait to hear his own side. Once he drops that video, I'll definitely bring it here for you guys. It's interesting, right? So you wanna see how rotten Nigerian system be. Una know say NNPP representative, right? They sack am because he forge a WAEC certificate. My people, forgery no dey tire people for Nigeria. No be which day for here I hear say person forge im primary school certificate. Hey God! Hey! This is how useless they've turned the system into. See National Union of Road Transport Workers, they fight for Abuja, clash. Have you ever heard it in Abuja before? They are fighting with the equipment, metal, they go off the air for Abuja. They don't turn Abuja. Abuja is the new Agbero land now, not Lagos. All the people when they dey Lagos, say they do Agbero, but they move to Abuja. They have moved to Abuja. It's such a God. The way these people don't use less Nigeria, not be here. Not be here at all. Now wow, my people. Hmm. Kai, They have carried Togri to Abuja. Look at, see fight. What the heck? Abuja was not like this, my goodness. Mm. Tucker Carlson should carry this bone, let people know that. Hey. Yeah, he doesn't have Fox News behind him anymore. Maybe he left Fox News, or was he fired, or he left also? Yes, me, I did my. I not come out that day when they do their election, because all of us we go cry together. Nobody Nigerians will cry because almost this is crazy. Eh? They were interviewing what's his name, Dele Farotimi somewhere, and the person that was interviewing him said, "Your president," right? Referred to Agbado as, he said, "No, your president, not my president." Hey God, hey. Mm. Meanwhile, NLC they threaten to go on strike. NLC, they be like drum with no sound coming out, empty vessels na dem don become. Their sound is of no effect. Dem dey make noise but you no dey hear anything. They have rubbished what they stand for. NLC should please pack it in. They should pack it in and just shut up forever. When they are needed the most, they no dey show up. They dey always come out when e convenient for them. Stomach infrastructure. Well, my people, let me end the show here. There will be more to talk about. Prince Akwachi, are you still with us?
Yes, I am, and I'm, totally, I'm totally with you. You said it. You said the truth. But what
Hey,
can we do? We'll keep fighting and making sure that our country, the right thing is done
oh
and all
yeah,
that. So yeah. Other
yeah.
than that, it's all good. And thank you once more for coming on your platform. You know, thank you, and thank you everyone else. You guys have a very good night's sleep.
You as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Akwachi. I appreciate. Thanks for coming on the panel and for your contributions as well. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a great evening. I hope to see you again soon. So, my people, what una dey talk about? Uh, he has a YouTube series every Sunday. Okay, I didn't know that too. Yeah, victory. They are taking over Abuja. Oh. I'm telling you, they are fighting. They are now. Ah, God. Hey, wow. Nigeria, my country. E go better. We continue to fight. We dey this fight till we win. We get what is rightfully ours. We dey here. All right, guys. Well, it's been real. It's been very real. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I appreciate you. Tato, my darling, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for always consistently giving me super chat. Thank you. I really appreciate. You be one of those people where they encourage me. Eh? You dey really dey encourage me, and I know they take am for granted. Thank you so much. And all my super chatters, I appreciate you now. I appreciate Amaka. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. Miss B, thank you for stopping by. OJ Moa, everyone. J.O. was here earlier. Highly favored. Kene, thank you very much. Yeah, Abuja is already looking like a Lagos motor park. No difference now. They do agberoism for Lagos on a high level. They rob. The robbery now, not be here. Oh my God. Not be here. Oh. It's so shameful, but we go get our country back. At least we know where to fix. When we start to dey fix am, we go dey serious. We no go dey all dis sentiments of na my brother na my sister, e no go dey again. We go don by that time we go don stamp that thing enter ground. um Yes, so Tatu, thanks for remembering that name. Say na Aminata. Oh my God. Yes, I'm from Burkina Faso. That's true. I just remember that now. Thank you. I remember the way you mentioned it earlier. Kene, you never hear super chatters before. I dey cherish my super chatters and my members. I get 2 members. I know they take them play for real, for real. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate. Yeah. Amaka, thank you. Have a wonderful night as well. I appreciate you. Kene, thank you. Yeah, you yourself, your consistency, I really appreciate. Now they give me energy to move forward. I no lie, cause after that tribunal, I was so mad. I was like, make I chill. I don't want to discuss Nigeria again, but my mind can't dey prick me. My conscience can't dey prick me. Say, why you, when you quiet, you know the how many people go dey suffer. I don't know, jare. Now it's okay. Then as I come dey see the movement of things, because me na action I don dey wait for since, to be honest. Action. Now I dey wait for, and I still dey wait for that action. I never give up. As I see this Chicago thing, the thing just e ginger me. E ginger me well well, you know. So tomorrow, I think violence space is tomorrow. I'm gonna be bringing it here live for you guys so that we can all watch it together. Because I know that there'll be a lot, because Jimmy was at the courthouse. I would like to hear what he has to say, his take and everything as an insider. So I look forward to that. You know, tribunal never finish. How you mean? Kenny, how you mean say tribunal never finish? They don't finish. No, the Supreme Court. Not mean that they go now. I been na appeal court. I be which court? I don't even know. Nigerian judiciary don scatter. We don't know which one be which again. What you mean by tribunal never finish, sef? E don finish na. Kene, what you mean? I don't understand. Mm. All right, my people. It's been real. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. As the Supreme Court dey, yeah, that okay, the appeal. Okay, yeah. Okay, now that one, na the next step with that. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. I shall see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Bye.